With the incarnation of Jesus Christ, God acquired a human face. We all know the face of Jesus and his physical features very precisely. From the first centuries, Jesus' face was depicted and represented in a similar way to the images and icons of today. However, the image of his mother, the Virgin Mary, hasn't acquired fixed physical features. In different countries, she's represented with different faces, and in every apparition, she even appears differently. In Fatima, Our Lady looks like a Portuguese. In Guadalupe, Mexico, she appeared as an indigenous on the tilma of St. Juan Diego. As at the apparitions in Kibeho, Rwanda, her skin is dark. The question arises then, if Our Lady is an historical person who has been taken into heaven, body and soul, why don't we know her original face?
It's such an interesting question.
Let's explore this question with the help of art, history, and theology. But first, with art historian Liz Lev, let's look up the oldest image of Our Lady.
The oldest image we have of the Blessed Virgin is not a portrait. It's not as an icon would be. The oldest image we have in the world is a Madonna and Child in the catacombs of Priscilla, where we see a very stylized face, but we already understand something about how she will always be presented. She's a very large figure holding the very small Christ child who turns around to look at you. So we see her already in her sort of physical role as the throne or the ark. I mean, we already can understand that the artists are trying to show this connection between the mother and son.
The image of the Virgin Mary at the Roman catacombs of Priscilla illustrates the devotion of the first Christians to the Mother of God and reveals an influence on how she would be depicted in the future.
I think the question of a canonical image of the Blessed Virgin is an interesting one, because in sort of the automatic mind that people who study Western art, oh, the Madonna and Child, we think to a Raphael image or a Leonardo image. But actually, there is the only thing that really is canonical, if you will, in an image of the Madonna, is that there's usually a way that she is pointing towards her son. It's unusual to find an image of Mary alone. There are a few, but generally the images of Mary are images of Mary who is pointing towards her son, or in the few cases where she's indicating upwards to draw our eyes towards heaven. So I think the most canonical aspect of understanding a vision of Mary is that Mary is always going to, she looks at you, she engages you, but then she deflects you to her son. So it's sort of like that moment when she says at the wedding of Cana, do whatever he tells you. And that's kind of our connection with her, so that she can say, do whatever he tells you.
In the Christian East, it's commonly believed that St. Luke the Evangelist made the first image of the Virgin Mary, and that all the icons take their roots from that so-called proto-image or first image. There are many types of icons, however. They're classified into 5 broad groups with Greek names. Agios Eurytissa, Our Lady that intercedes. Oranta, Mother of God, represented in prayer. Eleusa represents Our Lady's tenderness and affection to Jesus. Panakranta, meaning all merciful, and the Virgin Mary is represented on a throne with heavenly glory. Odigitria, Mary who shows the way to Jesus. To find out which type of icon is closest to the first representation of Our Lady by St. Luke, we ask EWTN journalist and relic hunter Paul Bade.
When I lived in Jerusalem, I was shown an icon in the Old City, in the so-called House of St. Mark, which we were told was created by Luke. I took a photo of it and showed it to the most famous Polish icon painter of that time. This is the present abbot, Bernard Maria Alter, the present abbot of the Dormition Abbey of the Benedictines in Jerusalem on Mount Zion. He is the greatest expert in Poland. He said, the icon of Luke, but I think it is from the 6th century AD. The authentic icon by Luke is not here though. It is in Rome, so you'll have to look for it there. So then we went from Jerusalem to Rome to look for it, but nobody here knew of it. Nobody knew her, and we discovered her by chance after many years.
In the next episode of Vaticano, we'll continue the search for the true face of Our Lady. Stay with us.